Motorcycle camping season is officially upon us, and in this video I'm going to show you how these 3 items right behind me fit on these 2 motorcycles and things that you can do to get prepared for motorcycle camping. So the 3 tents that I have here for you guys, I will have linked down in the description below, but you can apply these rules I'm going to tell you to any tent that you want to buy. So I have 2 motorcycles behind me. I have my Royal Enfield Himalayan, and then I have my Harley-Davidson Road Glide with my brand new beautiful tour pack on it. And I'm going to show you how these 3 tents get, I wouldn't say packed, but how they can pack down on these motorcycles. So this very first tent, you guys have seen it on my channel many times. This is my favorite Lone Rider moto tent. This is the tent that has the garage in it, and it's big. I'm like out of breath just holding it. This is a 12-pound tent all packed up, and this is what it looks like on my Road Glide. It can go vertical, it can go sideways. I try not to put it on here sideways because it'll get rubbing on the bags. So this is what it looks like on a big touring bike. Obviously, if you travel with a passenger, you're not gonna have much room for your passenger. So this is what it looks like on my little Himalayan. If you walk over here, traveling with this thing on this little bike, probably not gonna be the best idea. So I do have a couple solutions for this bike specifically. So the 2 options that I have for this smaller bike are these 2 tents here. This is the Lone Rider ADV tent. You've seen this tent on my channel as well. It is much smaller, probably about 6 pounds packed down, definitely half the weight of the larger one. And then I have this big Agnes bike packing tent. This obviously has the tent and the poles all integrated, but it's much smaller. Side by side, big difference. So this tent packs pretty light and great. I actually see a lot of people pack them sideways like that. And I've yet to take this camping, but I am going to prep all of these tents today so that we can go camping here soon. So while they're all still packed up, I just wanted to show you what they look like on the motorcycles. So that's what these little guys look like on the Himalayan. Let's go see what they look like on the Road Glide. Here they are on my Road Glide. Passenger seat, easy. This one's actually really nice because you just fits right in the saddlebag. Super easy. Now I will let you guys know this is a very expensive tent because it's very good quality, and it's made to be lightweight for backpackers. On motorcycles, we don't have to worry about weight that much because we're riding big heavy machines, so you can afford to buy a cheaper, not as nice quality tent if it fits in your saddlebag like that. As for this one, I just got this beautiful new tour pack put on. And we're all packed up. I'm just kidding, you guys know I go camping with way more gear than this, but these are the 3 tents. These are how they pack on my motorcycles. Now I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do to prepare these tents for the camping season. Unfortunately for me, I have to set up all 3 of these tents, go through my checklist process, and officially waterproof them for the year. Luckily for you, in the power of editing, you don't have to sit here and watch me do that. You can see that right now. Just like that. Okay, in all seriousness, that only actually took me 25 minutes to set up all 3 tents. I did have to go inside and take a quick break because the sun is so hot right now, and I got really sweaty, so of course, yeah. So the one thing that I do on all of my gear every year is I go through and make sure it's good for the year and make sure there's no holes, no tears, no dead bugs in it, and then I waterproof them. I waterproof my tents every single year. I only have to do it once a year, and over the past couple years I've been very fortunate, or maybe I just haven't been camping enough, that I haven't been caught in the rain that bad, like not like torrential downpours. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the tents that I have set up right now, and if you remember the sizes that they were packed up, this is what they look like all set up. If you guys don't know, we had to do a lot of work to our yard last year, building a new garage and tearing up some of the old trees that we used to have. So we have partnered with Sunday and their special products catered specifically to our lawn. If you don't know, ordering all of the products on Sunday are super fun and easy. All you have to do is go on getsunday.com, click on I want to take better care of my lawn, and it's going to dive you right into a lawn analysis. You put in your address, it'll show you an overview and the square footage of your yard, and then you get to choose the perfect package for your lawn. For us, obviously, I drive motorcycles on my grass. I needed something that has high traffic capability as well as keeping the grass green for longer, and definitely reseeding some of this grass to help regrow where we put in our garage. You don't need any fancy mixing materials. You don't need any fancy connections. So all you have to do is hook the bag up to your hose and you can go about spraying your yard. After I picked the perfect plan for my yard, I actually got to add a couple little add-ons which will help repel mosquitoes and regrow some of the grass that we're working on. So I got the lawn seed and feed that we planted some of that last month, and I'm already starting to see regrowth, as well as spray the yard for mosquitoes, because summertime gets really bad, and especially if you're camping, the mosquitoes are awful. If you guys want to go enter your address and get your personal lawn analysis, head over to getsunday.com/2wheels, put in your address, and it'll show you an overview of your own property. If you're ready to try out the product, use my code 2wheels20 and it'll save you 20% off your entire order. Okay, well, while we still have the daylight, let's go ahead and start waterproofing our tents. Well, I guess we should go ahead and start with the big one. So if you remember, that big 12-pound tent all packed up actually sets up very nicely. That is the sleeping cabin right there, and this is the garage area. I'll show you the inside later in the video, but for right now I need to use the sunshine to waterproof it. This is big. This stands a little over 6 feet tall, and this is it's my favorite tent, y'all. I take this one everywhere with me. I don't care how big it is. And then you got its little sister right next to us. This was the half-size ADV tent, and if you're talking pack size, I just realized I have trash in my yard. Cool. If you're talking pack size like that versus that, I'm gonna go with this one every time, even though it's bigger. I just love that you can stand up. But this is still hands down one of the nicest tents I've ever camped in. I'll show you the inside of that one in this video as well. And then of course over here we have the tiny Big Agnes bike packing tent. That one actually sets up at a very decent size, similar to that one, but packs down way lighter and way smaller. And once again, that comes back to the lightweight materials. So both of these Lone Rider tents over here, much heavier duty material. This one is definitely more thin, more pliable, but still incredible high quality. Incredible quality. That's why you're gonna get the crazy price you get on these tents. All three of these tents are hands down the highest quality tents I've ever owned. Okay, let's get spraying. So I think I bought these on Amazon. I'll have these linked down below if you guys are interested, but you can just go to your local Walmart or any kind of store and get a waterproofing spray. So typically when I spray, you're gonna wanna get like a pretty large misting area. You know, you want to coat it very decently. On all tents, you definitely want to go over the seams. If you can't see that right there, I'm going over the seams a little heavier just to help water drip through. So I'm going to go through, spray all three of these tents, and then let that dry for a quick second. While I wait for those to dry, I'm going to go ahead, crack open a drink, and answer some of your questions that I have about camping. Also, I'm trying to figure out where I can get these things made because I want to be able to sell these on my website. I love this thing. Okay, so immediately, I'm not going to answer individual questions here because they were all relatively the same. Immediate question from new campers is, how do I pack? First, I'm going to be real with you guys. I have never really been good at packing. I love trial and error. I will pack my bike fully loaded a couple days before I'm supposed to go somewhere camping, and I'll ride and see how it feels. But if you have the means, if you have the storage and the luggage space, put as much gear as you can low on your motorcycle to help with the balance. I personally never did that, and it never actually started affecting me until I started riding taller motorcycles. So if you have saddlebags, put some of your heavier items down in the saddlebags, and then up on top in like a sissy bar bag or a tail bag, lighter materials like your sleeping pads, sleeping bags, stuff like that. Tents and heavy stuff should go as low as possible, but once you see how I pack my motorcycles, I don't always live by that rule, and that's okay. Figure out what's good for you, go practice, go set up, tear down, repack, and then tell yourself how you feel after that. God, the bugs are bad. That brings me to my next question. Somebody asked me, what is the best and worst part about camping? The best part is camping. I love being outside. I love just listening to nature and the bugs and the trees, and I love being able to just crawl back into my tent at night instead of riding back to a hotel or doing all of that. I really just love camping. The worst part, I have two answers. It's probably a cheat, but the first answer is I hate packing up. Okay, I might have 3 answers. There's a lot of things I don't like about camping, which is kind of hilarious. Sleeping on the ground. That sucks. I don't care who you are. I much prefer to sleep in a hammock, but I like tent camping more because I can bring more gear with me. But sleeping in a hammock, 10 out of 10 recommend. I hate sleeping on the ground. I hate packing up camp. It's the worst, especially if it's wet, especially if it's raining, especially if you're in Florida and there's sand. It's just packing up camp in the morning is like hands down my least favorite thing to do. One of the other questions I got is how do I find campsites? Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all, okay? If you start searching motorcycle camping over here on YouTube, you are going to find a lot of different creators who go motorcycle camping. If you post about it on Facebook, you're gonna get thousands of comments from people who are like, all you need is a tarp and that's it, a flask of whiskey or something. Like that is not why I go camping. I don't go camping because I can't afford a hotel. I don't go camping because it was the only option available. I've only literally done that once. I have never not been able to find a hotel or a motel or a place to sleep. I've only had to do that once, and it was terrifying. I go camping because for me it's a treat, it's a vacation. I want to get away. I want to go be outside and be creative. I will get on Google, or if I'm in Ohio, I'll get on the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. I will look up state parks. I will look up stuff like that. Most of the time I just get on Google and I look for campgrounds. Now booking is an issue. If you are anywhere east of the Mississippi, you 99% of the time need a reservation to book. You can't just show up and be like, hi, I'd like to go camping. That, ever since COVID, man, that just doesn't work like that. If you want to go camping on a weekend, forget it. Like you have to book 6 months in advance and pray that it actually went through with your booking. So booking for me is I fly by the seat of my pants. I will look for private campgrounds, or I will look for campgrounds that are outside of popular areas, yada, yada, yada. So how I book is I usually just Google it. I look for things that are on my way, in my area, or someplace with a good review because I like to stay in pretty places. This question says, what is something you thought you needed but you didn't need in the end? It will always be clothes. For me, I overpack so much. Yes, I have brought way too much gear that I've never used, but it's always like in the back of my mind, like you have it, you don't need to use it, but you have it just in case. Clothes. Hands down, they take up so much space. It's usually like I think of outfits. If you're a girl, you have to think of like your outfit. So when you wear all black, it kind of makes things a little bit easier. This next question says, how do I deal with the bear snoring next to me? I hope they're referring to a person because like if there's a bear snoring next to me, I'm already, like, my soul has left my body if that's the case, so you're gonna have to call the ambulance because I'm dead. If people are snoring next to me, especially at an event, yo, I literally just said ambulance and, like, sirens went off. That kind of scared me. If I'm at an event, which I am prepping these for all of the events and the rallies that we're doing this year, I bring noise-canceling headphones or earplugs, and I don't care who you are, you have to get a good night's sleep. And if you're the kind of person that can drink copious amounts of alcohol and sleep like the dead, good for you. I can't. So, noise-canceling earplugs or regular earplugs. This person says, what are some essentials for me? My essentials list is actually pretty long. I like to be comfortable, so obviously I need a great quality sleeping bag. I do not like to be cold. I do not like to be hot, so I'll bring a fan with me. I usually bring this big boy. I bring the big tent so that I can comfortably stand up, get dressed, like move around. I don't have to fight and try to put skin-tight jeans on when you're sticky and wet and laying down on the ground. So my essentials list is pretty long, but basically for me, I just need to be comfortable. So I'll ride over to a campground. I don't have to bring anything to eat or drink. I'll bring a flat packable cooler, go to the grocery store after I set up, and I have to have a comfortable place to sleep. So a nice tent, a nice air mattress, and a nice sleeping bag. Those are my essentials. So this person says, how do I pack light but have enough? Unfortunately, my friend, if you're like me, I'm pretty good at packing light, but that means I have to make some sacrifices along the way because the gear I used to have was not high quality. So packing light means sacrificing some of the more necessary things. So packing light and having everything you need means having the right gear. So think of a backpacker. Backpackers are literally, they're carrying everything they need on their back. And so all of their gear has to be accounted for. It has to be lightweight. It has to be small so they can carry it. So I think having higher quality gear is the easiest way to pack light and still have everything you need, which is essentially food, water, and shelter. Also, if you would ever like to ask questions for videos like this, be sure to follow me on Instagram or Facebook. There is a bug crawling across the lens. Yeah, you can definitely see that. Anyway, be sure to follow me over on Facebook or Instagram so you can see the things that I need your help with before these videos go live. Just look me up, Her Two Wheels, Instagram and Facebook. So I think that's most of the questions that I have. Like I said, they were all very, very similar. If you do not have a large tour pack like I have on my motorcycle, I highly recommend getting a waterproof bag. I'll insert some photos here. I actually have the Lone Rider bag that I carry on the back of my motorcycle, as well as a waterproof Harley-Davidson bag that you can slap to the back of your sissy bar if you have a sissy bar. I love traveling with sissy bars. I actually prefer to pack without a tour pack. I feel like I can bring more stuff with me, but the tour pack is nice because you can do like more than just camping supplies. You can do groceries, you can put your helmet in there and stuff like that. As much as I love luggage, like I'm actually addicted to motorcycle luggage, I prefer 100% waterproof because ain't nobody got time to pull over and put a bag over all of their stuff if it's not a waterproof bag. So finding something that is all weather material resistant, do that. And you can get some really big ones, man. I know Biltwell makes a huge one. That's what my husband uses, so have fun. All right, let's go check out some of these tents now that they're probably dry. Alrighty, I've gone ahead and opened up all three of these tents, as you can see here. Big one, medium one, little one. So the thing I love about all three of these tents is they all have vestibules. If you don't know what a vestibule is, it is the porch area that covers up the inside of the tent. So automatically all of these tents are going to be very heavily waterproof. So the one thing I will say, this one, if you guys don't remember, I actually took this tent with me to the Grits and Glory motorcycle camp out a couple years ago in West Virginia, and it was pouring heavily. I'll insert a clip here. As you could clearly tell, it's pouring. And I must say, having this tent, it's gonna be real nice setting up in here. Even though I'm already soaking wet, I have all of my belongings on the ground, but at least I have somewhere dry to stand up and start setting up my campsite. I had not waterproofed this tent at the time, and the one thing I want to show you is this tent on the inside. It is not actually attached to the rain fly. So as you can see, it's all like, this is the sleeping liner, and it's very not waterproof. The cabin is in here, open that up and that's the cabin, but all of this is hooked up to the outer shell. So this entire shell can get rained on and it never drips through into the cabin. It actually never drips through into here either. So this tent has been incredibly water resistant for me and I just love it so much. And kind of the same thing goes with this one. If you crawl on the inside here, this is a very large, it's really hard to tell on camera, but this is a very decently sized 2-person tent. I would personally only recommend 1 person in here because then you have space for your gear. But the actual tent is not attached to the rain fly. So it's gonna rain and drip down and it's just gonna dry all the way down the side here. So that really, really helps for waterproofing your tent. And once again, over here, this entire tent is not attached to the outer shell. Uh-oh. I think we have somebody very handsome and daring. Hey, baby. How was your ride?
A little muddy.
You are a little muddy.
Probably went places I shouldn't have gone.
You went places you shouldn't have gone? Like private property?
No. Just if I fell over, I probably would have been screwed.
Oh God, I'm glad you didn't fall over then. Yeah, look at your seat.
Yeah, I had water go over my shoulders.
Oh boy. All right. Well, glad you're back safe. I'm showing them all of the tents. So. It's Hobbington over here, just a bunch of hobbit holes. I know a lot of you guys were pretty concerned when we bought the toy hauler that I would no longer be doing regular motorcycle camping. That's not the case. I don't consider glamping, camping, campers, I don't consider that camping. I prefer packing up the motorcycles, hitting the road, and bringing all of life's little luxuries with me on the bike. So obviously, if you guys have any questions or if you would like to see a video about how I actually pack up these motorcycles, it changes every single year. I don't care how many videos I make on it. My gear changes, my bikes change, and I have to acclimate. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you would like to see that. Well, I think it's time to tear these bad boys down. I'm not going to bore you with that, but thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the subscribe button because we're hitting the road here very soon. And until my next one, you guys be good, and I'll see you later.